Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. It's me, Mr. M, and today we are gonna do math. We're gonna do a math lesson 7-4. Now, this is the first time that we are doing a lesson that we have not gone over in class, so this is new material. But it is going over material we have learned in the past. So today for lesson, we're gonna go over lesson 7-4, which is doing fractions. Now, this is going to be fun because it'll give you a chance to do something at home and it's a good activity for you to do. So you'll need a couple of things. You'll need to either print out the so you'll need a couple of things. You need the printout of the fraction strips that you can find online. If you can't print it, you can also just use a plain white piece of paper, and then also grab a pencil, preferably a pencil, just because if you make a mistake, it's easy to erase, or anything you can write with. And that's really all you need. So if you got all those things ready, let's get started. So today we are going to be making fraction strips. And so if you have the printout printed, you can just follow along the dotted line and you can cut out five strips right now, 5 strips. If you don't have the printout, you can also just use regular white paper like I've done here. I know with this it's not going to be perfect, but try your best. Again, this is for you to learn. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you can cut out strips of white paper to make them even like so. I'll give you guys a couple minutes to do that. You can pause the video, and when we unpause, we can get started. So after you have all those strips cut out, we're going to take one of them, right? We're going to take one of them. And we are going to take this one, and we're going to fold it in half, like so. As you can see, I've folded it in half, right? If this strip was considered our whole, right, what would one side of this folded paper be considered? What fraction of the whole would this be considered? Now, in order to figure that out, it might be a little bit rusty, but let's take this into consideration. How many pieces are there when we fold it? If you've answered 2, that's correct. There's 1, 2. That's the total pieces of the whole. So would that be our numerator or our denominator? It would be our denominator, right? And the last part, I'm asking for one part. So what number do you think should go on the numerator? Yes, if you got 1, that's right. So it's 1 over 2. So one of these is going to be considered a half, right? If you remember, 1 over 2 is a half, right? And when you figure that out, we can draw a line where you folded it, and you can mark each part as 1/2. So once you marked each part as 1/2, it should look something like this, right? I can fold it, and we see that this part is 1/2 and this part is 1/2, right? And together, it's a whole. It's 2 over 2, right? So that's very important. Now with the next piece, we can make it a little bit easier, right? So we've got another blank piece, not the same one as before, but we're going to fold it again, like so. Right, so we have it too. And then we're going to fold one side in half. So there's 2 creases, right? You can see the 2 creases. And then this other side, we're going to fold in half. Always fold in, all right? This is going to be very important. Always fold in. So as you can see, we have 1, 2, 3 creases, right? That's how many we want. If we were to fold this back up, and we're trying to find out one piece of this, just like we did with the halves. This is not going to be a half though. If we are trying to find one part, what fraction would one part represent? Take a minute to think about it. You can pause the video to discuss with someone too. And once we're done, once you've done that, you may unpause the video and we'll reveal the answer. So if you've realized, once you figured it out, 1/4 is what one of the sections is. And your strip should look something like this, right? 1/4, 1/4, 1/4, 1/4. Altogether equals 4/4. So once you've talked about it, it's going to be 1/4 for one section of that, right? So I have my strip right here. We've got 1/4 over 1/4 over 1/4 over 1/4. And so all these together equal 4/4, which is considered a whole, right? And it's important that if we were to put two of these sides together, if we were trying to figure out two parts of this whole, right? What would this be? If you answered 2/4, that's correct. It's also important to know that this 2/4 also equals 1/2. It's the same fraction. Look at that. They go over each other perfectly, right? 2/4 is the same thing as 1/2. So it's important to know, again, that those are going to be two different numbers, and you've already made two, so you can play around with it, see what fractions equal others. We have a second part of this lesson because this video is getting kind of long. So go on to part 2 so we can finish off the activity and you can really get to work with figuring out fractions. So for this video, I'm Mr. M. Go to part 2 and I'll see you guys over there.